is laminar and what is turbulent flow? What is laminar and turbulent flow? Anyone? You have studied about this laminar and turbulent flow, na? What is that? What is laminar flow and turbulent flow? You have studied that in fluid kinematics, where you have studied about the types of fluid flow. So there you studied about uniform flow, non-uniform flow, steady flow, unsteady flow, then one-dimensional flow, two-dimensional flow, three-dimensional flow. Then you studied about rotational flow, irrotational flow. Then you have discussed about compressible flow, incompressible flow. Then also you have discussed about laminar and turbulent flow. What is laminar and turbulent flow? What is laminar flow? Example. Anyone? It's an easy question. When the fluid is flowing, okay, I'll tell it here itself. See here. So we'll go with the syllabus, then we'll discuss about what is laminar and turbulent. So laminar flow and turbulent flow, there is something like flow through circular pipe between parallel plates, power absorbed in viscous flow in bearings. We have to just go with the formulas and what is power absorbed in the viscous flow in bearings, okay, journal bearing and all that. Poiseuille equation, that is Huygens-Poiseuille equation, where we are going to derive the velocity profile for the loss of head due to friction in viscous flow. This is the important derivation from the exam point of view. So it would be asked like derive Huygens-Poiseuille equation. Huygens-Poiseuille equation. So you have to derive that. Fine. So next is the Reynolds experiment, which we are going to see today itself. Okay, and the friction loss in pipe flow, that is the derivation for Chezy equation and Darcy-Weisbach equation, and introduction to turbulence and characteristic of a turbulent flow, the laminar turbulent transition from the major, which leads to the major and minor losses. Okay, so what is mean by laminar and turbulent flow and what are the difference between them? Can anyone tell me? It's a very easy question. Okay, and you have already studied something about it. And I have discussed it in the previous classes. What is laminar flow? What do you understand by this diagram? There is a pipe fluid, okay, in a pipe. This is the fluid which is flowing in a pipe. Okay, the fluid is flowing very smoothly. Whatever fluid is there, it is flowing very smoothly. For an example, on a plate, I am making honey to flow, or an oil with high viscosity to flow. Okay, what is meant by this? So how the honey will flow on a plate? It will be flowing very smoothly, not like it will be not in hurry, but it will be flowing very smoothly. So what it means that whenever the laminar flow, it takes place for a viscous fluid, a fluid which is having viscosity. Okay, or even we can say that water is having less viscosity compared to honey, but it can also flow in a laminar way. Okay, so how it flows through a laminar flow? How it can take this a laminar flow? When we allow it to flow very slowly on a plate. Okay, when you put a drop of water on the plate and if you tilt it, what will happen? See, if this is a plate on which I'm putting a drop of water. Okay, so if I tilt it or if I make it inclined position a little bit, okay, if I drop it like this, okay, so what will happen? The drop will flow very smoothly on this plate. Okay, this is called as laminar flow because the layers which are there, the layers of the fluid are flowing smoothly on one upon each other like a plate, like a lamina. Okay, they are not moving in a zigzag way. They are not moving like this. They are moving in a simple or laminar flow. Okay, so they're moving in a smoothly, they're moving smoothly in the pipe. Okay, you might have observed that whenever you are putting water in the garden through the pipe, okay, so you might be seeing that when you open the valve, or when to which you have connected the pipe or the tap, so if you have kept the flow rate very slow, okay, it means that you have partially opened the tap, then what will happen? The water will be flowing very smoothly. You might have observed it. You might form that it is flowing in the shape of the pipe. When it comes out of the pipe, it will be in the shape of a cylinder. You might have observed, right? I have told you this because it is because of surface tension, liquid jet ka. Okay. So because of that, it will be flowing very smoothly. And if suppose what happens is, if anyone puts a finger in front of the opening of the pipe, what will happen? The water, there will be a disturbance. Okay, so the water will be flowing like a jet, right? So you have created a turbulence over there. You have created a turbulence over there. If I increase the, or if I completely open up the tap, what will happen? It will splur the water at a faster rate. So that's what will happen. It is like a turbulent flow. It is a turbulent flow. Okay, so there is a difference between a laminar and turbulent flow. Fine. So laminar flow is in form of plates. The flow will be very smooth, and the laminars, or the plates, or the layers of the fluid will be flowing smoothly over each other. But in turbulent flow, it will be in the shape of a, or it will be in a zigzag way. The flow will be in a zigzag way. Even you might have observed that in some taps at your home, when you open it, it will be rushing the water very fast, because we had some taps before, like you might have seen a tap which is placed outside a school, in a school, or you can say, you might have seen some taps which are made up of rusted type cup. देखा होगा ना तुम लोगों ने टैप, जब when you open it, what will happen? It will be releasing the water at a faster rate. That is turbulent flow. Okay, so here nowadays they are using a fluid which is leaving a fluid at a slower rate. That is laminar flow. Yeah, so there is a difference between laminar and turbulent. Yeah, now types of flow we have studied. Now we are going to see this. The type of fluid flow is classified as laminar and turbulent flow. In laminar flow, the fluid particles move along a straight parallel path in layers, or called as lamina, such that the paths of the individual particles do not cross those of the neighboring particles. As I have told, the fluid particles are flowing in a lamina, or we can say layers. So these layers do not cross each other, like it won't go like this. Okay, these particles do not cross each other. So this is a laminar flow. Laminar flow is possible only at low velocities. Whenever the fluid is flowing at low velocity, the laminar flow is possible. And it is that the fluid should be having high viscosity. As I have told for an example that honey is highly viscous. Okay. So if it flows, it has to flow with laminar flow. Okay. But water is less viscous compared to the honey. But when it releases with low velocity, it is flowing with a laminar flow. Okay. But when the velocity is increased, or the fluid is less viscous, the fluid particles do not move in the straight path. So it means that if the laminar flow should be possible, means it should flow with low velocity, and the fluid should be highly viscous. But when the velocity is increased, or we can say the fluid is less viscous, okay, then what happens? The particles do not go under a laminar flow, or they do not flow in a straight path. Okay. Next, the fluid particles move in a random manner, resulting in general mixing of the particles. This type of flow is called as a turbulent flow. As I have said, if this is the pipe in which the fluid flowing, the particles will be moving in a zigzag way, or they are crossing one over the other. Okay. So what will happen? This is a general mixing of the particles, and this will lead to a turbulent flow. This will lead to a turbulent flow. Okay. The next is Laminar flow changes to how this laminar flow can be changed to a turbulent flow. When is that happens is when velocity is increased. As I have told, if you increase the velocity, then it may happen. If we increase the diameter of the pipe, it may happen. And when we decrease the fluid viscosity. So if you want to convert laminar to turbulent flow, we have to increase the velocity, diameter of the pipe through which the fluid is flowing, and the viscosity should be decreased. So it can be converted into a turbulent flow. So this transition from laminar to turbulent was demonstrated by O. Reynolds. O. Reynolds. So that's why he gives a number, that is Reynolds number, which gives a formula rho Vd by mu, which gives the relationship between the density of the fluid which is flowing through the pipe, velocity of the fluid, diameter of the pipe, and the viscosity of the fluid. So as I have told that if the velocity is increased, diameter is increased, then if the fluid viscosity is decreased, we can change the flow from laminar to turbulent. And this term rho Vd by mu is called as Reynolds number because it was identified by the person O. Reynolds. So in the case of the circular pipe, if Reynolds number is less than 2000, then we can say that the flow is laminar flow. If I say that Reynolds number is greater than 4000, if I get Reynolds number greater than 4000, then it means that it is turbulent flow. If I say that it lies between 2000 to 4000, if the Reynolds number lies between 2000 to 4000, the flow is changing from laminar to turbulent. So by his experiment, that is Reynolds experiment, he got an equation rho R equal to rho Vd by mu, which is a dimensionless quantity. It means that it is not having any unit. It doesn't have any unit. So by using this experiment, he demonstrated that. And if you are getting the value of Re, if you calculate, if you give something like, if you give some values for rho, V, D, and mu, and if it tells you to calculate for the problem that calculate the value of Reynolds number, if you get it below 2000, then it is a laminar flow. If you get it above 4000, then it is turbulent flow. If you get it between 2000 to 4000, then it is transiting from laminar to turbulent flow. So how it will transit? It has to either increase its velocity, the diameter should be increased, or the viscosity should be decreased. Okay. Understood? Any doubts in this? Different types of flow? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay. This is the Reynolds experiment, which was done by O. Reynolds, which was demonstrated by O. Reynolds in 1883. And he determined the Reynolds number, that is rho Vd by mu, where rho is the density, V is the velocity of the fluid, D is the diameter of the pipe, and mu is dynamic viscosity or viscosity of the fluid which is flowing through the pipe. So what he did is he has taken a tank. And connected it with a glass tube. You can see there's a tank, water tank. Okay, and he has connected it with the glass tube, and through which he has connected a dye container, and through which he is passing a dye through this water which is flowing. and at the end of the glass tube, he has placed a regulating valve or regulator. Okay, so what he has done is, we can see here now, a tank which is containing water at a constant head. A tank which is containing water at constant head. A small tank containing some dye. So this is a small tank which is containing some dye. A glass tube having a bell-mouthed entrance at one end and a regulating valve at the other end. So there is a tube and it is a bell mouth at the entrance, and at the other end there is a regulating valve. The water from the tank was allowed to flow through the glass tube. The water from the tank is allowed to flow through the glass tube. The velocity of flow was varied by the regulating valve. So this is the water, this is the glass tube. What will happen if I completely close this? Water won't flow. So if I go on opening the valve, what will happen? I can regulate the flow of water which is flowing through that glass tube. So in the same way, we are even passing a liquid dye which is having the same specific weight as water and was introduced into the glass tube. So it is having the same specific weight as water, and it also introduced into. So there is one dye which is placed here along with the flow of the water which is flowing through the glass tube, which is having the same specific weight. Okay. So this is the experiment setup which he has done, Reynolds experiment. Okay, through which he will get to know whether the flow is laminar, turbulent, or it is in between the transition from laminar to turbulent. So what he observed, we'll see in the next slide. So the following observations were made by Reynolds. So what he observed is, when the velocity of flow was low. So as I've told you, when the velocity is less, what will happen? The flow will be in laminar flow itself. When the velocity of flow is low, the dye filament, whatever the dye filament in the glass tube was there, is in the form of a straight line. This is the dye filament. So he has passed, along with the water, he has passed this dye along with it. So which was flowing parallelly with the water, So this dye is not moving here and there, it is flowing parallel to the fluid layers. It is flowing parallel to the fluid layer. Why this dye filament is used? To get to know the difference. Okay, this is of different color and water is of different color, right? So water has no color. So the dye will be visible, na? So to get to know the dye, how it is flowing, we are taking water. Okay. So this straight line of dye filament was parallel to the glass tube. So this is parallel. This dye filament is parallel to the glass tube. This dye filament is parallel to the glass tube, which was the case of laminar flow. This is the case of laminar flow. Next, if I increase the velocity of the fluid, by regulating the valve, if I open the valve completely, what will happen? Partially. Then what will happen? The water will flow at a faster rate. So I have increased the velocity of flow. What happens then? The dye filament will not be a straight line. It won't be a straight line. It will become a wavy filament. It will start becoming a wavy filament. It won't be, it was straight before. So if I little bit open up the valve, regulating valve again, what will happen? It is converted into a wavy filament. So this shows that the flow which is there, it is no longer a laminar flow. It has transited. Whatever flow is there, it is not a laminar flow now. It is getting converted into turbulent. The next is, with the further increase of velocity of flow, if I completely open up the regulating valve, okay, what will happen? The fluid will start exerting. It will start leaving out with high velocity. So at that time, what happened is, this wavy filament broken into a diffused filament. Okay, this started deforming or diffusing. Okay, so because of this means that whatever dye was there at higher velocity are moving in a random fashion. So this was the transition from laminar to turbulent. So in turbulent, what happened? The wavy filament converted into diffuse filament. So it started diffusing. Okay, this diffusion leads to the turbulent flow. Thus, in case of a turbulent flow, the mixing of difilament and water is intense, and the flow is irregular, random, and disordered. So, from this experiment, we got a conclusion that with the increase in velocity of the flow, what happens? The fluid is getting converted into from laminar to turbulent flow. You can see that in laminar flow, the difilament was in parallel with the glass tube. In transition flow, what was happening? It was converted into a wavy filament. But in turbulent flow, when the velocity got increased a bit, the fluid started scattering here and there. That we can see because of the dye. So dye got scattered everywhere. So because of this, that is diffused, and that is leading to the turbulent flow. It means that it is turbulent flow, which is irregular, random flow, and a disordered flow. Okay, so this is the difference between a laminar, transition, and turbulent flow, which has been shown by the experiment given by Reynolds. Okay, fine. So this is the derivation. There is one derivation based on this laminar flow through pipes, based on which I have told you Huygens-Poiseuille equation, which will be deriving in the next class, and which is the most important derivation from exam point of view.